All right, a really fun tag from my buddy BCC from across the pond. It's how do you tarot? And I love using tarot as a verb. All right, how do you tarot? So that's what we're going to do. I'll link his original video. He does a great job at explaining it. But basically, there's just 5 prompts. You can do it any way you want. You can use, you can draw cards to explain, to help prompt you into it, or you can pick cards. I decided this time, the first time I ever really did it, to choose cards out of my Pagan Otherworlds deck to just sort of illustrate the answer to the prompts. So the first prompt is this: how did tarot come into your life? How it came into my life, I just described that as just temperance reversed. I was completely overwhelmed, not balanced, lost, confused, frustrated, broke, and I went to a bookstore that's in West Hollywood at the time, a long time ago, and that was my first tarot card reading. As I was just desperate, and I was willing to try anything, and I had no idea what this whole tarot card was, but I knew that it was popular. Everyone was signing up for these readings, and through a miraculous set of circumstances, I ended up getting in just at the right time with the right person, and I found money in my pocket that I knew wasn't there, and it was quite remarkable. So that's how tarot came into my life. I was going to say how I found it, but how it came into my life. The second prompt is, how did you use it for yourself and others? And I'm assuming this means kind of at the beginning. And you know what? I sort of fell into that whole thing about pulling the cards and asking, what's going to happen to me? Not that that's what this first guy at the Bodhi tree said that it worked. In fact, he'd said the exact opposite of that. But in the training and kind of picking up what I could and learning what I could, that was really before any of this stuff on the internet. There was no YouTube back then. And so I didn't really kind of understand that there's this, you had intentionality and power to be able to direct your life in certain ways. So I was kind of using it as the magician reversed. You know what I mean? What's going to happen to me? I'm a victim of life circumstances, so I'm just curious to see where I'm going to go. So not that I'm proud about that, but that was a very short introductory period into tarot for me. The third prompt: how has your understanding of tarot changed since then? And if so, why? Well, certainly the exact opposite of that. And certainly my experiences since then and how I work with my clients now with my subconscious work as a hypnotherapist and all my spiritual counseling and dealing with certain laws of the universe that just are inevitable, that they're going to always just kind of be there. I'm going to say the Strength card. That's how it's changed. The idea that we are empowered in this life to create change. We are the change agents. And so that's the best card that I could really think of to sort of pull out. That's how it's changed. It went from, what's going to happen to me? To like, you know what? No. I am in charge of what's going on inside here. And what's going on inside here is going to reflect out there. And ever since I really sort of adopted that, it's really helped taking off the practice and just really changed my life in magnificent, honestly, remarkable ways. And so why? Why is just from experience. You know what I mean? Why it's changed is because, if you kind of think like the reversed magician, you're just bouncing around and not having, any, empoweredness, in your life's direction. And so it's just experience that I said, wow, maybe this does have something to do with what's going to happen in this particular scenario. And I'll be damned. It's just life experience that taught me that. The next prompt is, how do you use it now for yourself and others? Well, for myself, I use it because it's my work. That's what I use in the therapy office here. And when I use my Skype clients, and there's a bunch of guided imagery stuff, there's a bunch of subconscious stuff we do with the tarot cards. You can use neuro-linguistic programming with the cards. It's my work. It's what puts gasoline in my car. It's gasoline in my car. It puts food in my little buddy Jack Daniels' mouth. You know what I mean? Hey, someone's got to feed this guy. Someone's got to feed this guy, and that's tarot cards do that. I love hypnosis. I love working with that stuff. I love helping people with their fears and phobias. But whenever they want to do it in this new interesting way with how these cards represent what's going on inside of them, oh man, that really gets my juices flowing. So that's how I use it. For me, is it's my work, and I just so enjoy that so much. How I use it for others is that I get others empowered. You know what I mean? I help others, and like Brian had said, whenever you do an interactive card section, it's not saying, or session, it's not just saying this is going to happen to you. It's like saying this card generally means this. How would you react to this particular card? And then you kind of go by that, follow to the next card, and you're not reading futures. You're kind of getting a flavor of what's going on inside of them. And of course, how the cards work is that they're easy to sort of, kind of see what is coming down the pike. And if you don't like it, put the brakes on it and let's work on getting that card turned around, directed somewhere else. So this is how I believe that I work with others peoples to kind of understand that they got that power in the world, you know what I mean? They can become their own worldly influence. And then I sort of went off the rails here a little bit. I sort of combined these two things to realize that it's such an integral part of my life because it's my work and it's growing to be a real passion in my life. And how I use that with other people, it really just sort of culminates into this this mysterious sort of like unifying, some sort of like a closure, this is this world card. It's a beautiful world card. It's almost indescribably, infinitely, like it's just that fill in the blank. And I don't even know what words to even put there, but it's just bringing so many different attributes together. And it's just, how it can help everybody once they understand what's going on inside them through the use of this imagery is fantastic. So that world card somehow sums that up. It somehow sums it up. And then very quickly, how do I tarot? Okay, that's the last question. It's the most general. It's also the coolest. And I'm going to say, how do I tarot? I tarot in that it reminds me of just my spiritual source, you know what I mean? It kind of reminds me that I'm not just this guy bebopping in this third dimensional world. I'm here with intentionality. I'm here with goals, and there's reasons that I have challenges, and I look forward to opportunities to overcome them and to be able to review them and help other people do them. So how do I tarot? I go about it like the Fool. I really do. I just kind of see where it's going to take me and just say, I'm just here for the ride. I came in a certain wattage of a bulb and I want to go out with all this energy and so much a higher wattage of a bulb. You know what I mean? That's a wonderful metaphor for sort of, you know what I mean, using the majors in general, going through the whole processes and influences of all of that. So that's how I tarot. I tarot like a fool, guys. I tarot like a goddamn fool. Thank you, BCC, for coming up with this fantastic, very cool, very easy little prompt. How do you tarot? Now I want to know how you tarot. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody else's. Bye.